Koi can be colourful, quite large, and in some cases very friendly creatures. But I've always wondered, do koi make good pets? For this video I wanted to film some koi, but also a nice koi pond. For this reason I've travelled up to see my friend Chip, who has an incredible collection of fish and a koi pond to die for. There it is. Today I have the pleasure of sitting in my friend Chip's garden. It's a modest sized garden. It's not the biggest I've ever seen, but it's also not tiny. But it's what's within this garden that excites me. Chip's koi pond is probably one of the nicest sort of modern style koi ponds that I've ever visited.
Some memories for you?
This is why we came to film this video here. How's your shots, Alex?
Good.
Look at that.
I know, it's amazing.
Looks nice, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Now, you get the koi ponds that are more naturalistic. They are maybe inspired by the Japanese gardens. They're like rocks and plants and stuff. But Chip's pond is to hold fish. Its purpose is to provide the perfect habitat to keep his big pet carp happy and healthy.
I grew up and I always kept fish. Well, I'm a fisherman. So growing up in Trinidad, I fished on the beach. We kept guppies. Then when obviously I moved to America and I did my student sort of thing, fly fish there and stuff, and then moved to the UK. But I missed water. I love being around water. And then I first came across koi, and I remember seeing a koi in a garden centre, and it was like, you know, £300. I thought it's outrageous. Who will pay £300 for a fish? Well, little did I know I would be one of them nutters. I could never do anything sort of half-hearted, so any hobby I'm in, I take it to the full 100%. And koi became that way. And so what it did for me was really gave me a place to relax, a place to offload stress. In my normal job, well, before COVID, I was flying a lot and take up a lot of my time, and koi was an escape, or is an escape.
So, thinking of pros, positives to keeping koi. Well, they are calming to watch. There are also lots of different colours and varieties of koi, meaning that you can pick a fish that's to your taste, kind of like Skittles. No. What else comes in lots of colours, Alex?
Rainbow.
They can also become quite tame, unlike most other species of fish which can be a bit skittish and sort of scared of you. Carp can actually start to recognise their owner and learn like where they get fed. So if you're patient and if you regularly feed the fish in the same part of the pond, then over time you can actually like hand feed them. They can become tame enough to pet them almost. I know my fish at home, Charlie the chagoi. Chagoi is the colour of like the variety that I've got. That fish is so chilled. You can just stroke it and hand feed it, which is really nice. And that's definitely on the pros list, the positives.
I think the number one reason is really interaction with one world to the next. To me, anything in water is in a different world to what we're in.
It's getting a little bit harder to think of positive things now, but one of them is that they're not messy. Well, they're not, like, they don't shed fur, or they don't have hairs falling off them. They won't cause your auntie to get bad allergies. And finally, and I'm kind of stretching it now, they won't bark and chase the postman. So we got a lot of positives there.
Grab a little bit of koi food, just drop it there, see if I can get her up.
Well, there's a mix of foods in there.
Yeah.
Fish food.
Fish food. The darker pellet is almost like a nutrition type of food. Did you just eat that?
I'm just curious.
What did it taste like? It's fish meal, and it's probably, if you're going to eat food, it's probably the best one.
You look after your fish so well I was wondering whether you feed them as well as you'd feed
Yes.
your kids.
No, my kids would tell you not. We have a saying in the house: if there's an earthquake or national disaster, I'll come out of the pond. Rest of you,
Rescue the fish.
rest of you, figure out the fix yourself.
Do you feed them anything else, or do you just feed them pellets?
Prawns and mussels.
So they literally do eat better than your kids.
Yeah. They'll eat mussels, but I wouldn't just buy the cheap one. It has to be like the A grade.
Talking about koi food had got us thinking about lunch. So Chip got to work at the barbecue.
Like we say in Trinidad, if you're vegan, you can eat goat meat. Because goat eat grass, so if you're vegan, you can get away with that.
So you're basically just eating.
Yeah, you're just eating grass, yeah.
With the smell of food in the air, we couldn't wait to tuck in. And Chip's rabbit seemed curious too. How are you as skinny as you are? Look at you. You're like a rape.
You were talking about me then. I felt a bit
Not you, Chip. Sorry. Wow, that is the biggest photo I've ever seen. We've got to get some cinematics of this.
This is all that Alex left me. So that's mine. Just grilled onions.
You know, thanks so much, Chip,
You're
for
welcome.
feeding us so well.
It's the least I could do.
Life's good, eh?
It's 6,500 gallons.
Can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
Whilst we're still recording, because I know Alex is recording. Your fish are a lot more impressive than your bonsai. That's
Yes,
probably the worst
I know.
bonsai I've seen in a while. Sorry, I know
Thanks a lot.
it's work in progress.
Yes, it's
Sorry, I'm just jealous.
I'm good at keeping bamboo. Being
Yeah.
a Trinidadian.
Yeah, but you can't kill bamboo, can you?
I had before, believe it or not, yeah. Although I could see the attraction with bonsai, I just can't keep them alive.
What's a bad thing about keeping koi, Alex?
You have to make a pond for them.
Yeah, I guess one of the cons, one of the negatives, is that you have to build a pond. And that can be quite expensive. And you can do it on a budget, maybe £1,000 for some sleepers, liner, filter, pump. But I mean, that's still quite a lot of money. And I think the initial investment in building a koi pond is probably the biggest drawback of koi keeping.
Yeah, it was hard work. I mean, I had people working, but I had to supervise it, make sure things were done properly. I moved house 4 years ago in May, and in June, I dug up the entire garden of this brand new house. I sent my wife to America, which is the greatest advice I'll give you. You're gonna dig up your house, pay for your missus to go away and enjoy 2 weeks away, and then you work like no tomorrow to make sure that when she comes back, there's a pond and there's a landscape, and it goes, wow, that looks nice. She didn't see the mess.
Koi keeping also takes quite a lot of commitment and dedication. You have to really start to understand water science, the chemistry of the water that you're providing those fish with, understanding water flow, depth of water, temperature, all these sort of parameters that you need to monitor to ensure that you keep your fish healthy. Then Chip tried to give Alex a lesson in water quality. It's technical, isn't it?
It's all very technical,
Yeah.
far beyond.
Well, the TDS here is 45 in this pond. The total dissolved solids in the water.
I am not a scientist.
Okay.
I don't. This is going right over my head.
I am not
Well, I'll give you an idea. The TDS in our drinking water here is 400.
I can't quite believe the size of the kahaku there.
Alex, you know the variety. You're impressing
Yes.
me.
Yeah.
You said kahaku. Is that how you pronounce it? Is that right?
Yes, he's right, yes.
He's right as well.
Yes, he's right.
I'm
Whee.
fluent in
Koi.
koi.
And koi. On to the next hobby.
That said, the sort of science behind it and the filtration and the understanding of water and how it all works could also be looked at as a positive. You know, some people would probably enjoy that. You know, the people who are more scientific minded. This is where the magic happens. Whoa, hello.
Hello. Right, so there's two bottom drains, which is like a bath. So when you pull it, water comes out, the bath goes down. Well, with this, it's gravity fed into this unit, which is called a drum or RDF.
Interestingly, I'd learnt a bit about drum filters at the koi show that I visited the other day. Joe from Awaza had given me a demonstration on how they work, and I was impressed by the lack of maintenance needed, and the 60 micron screens that they have on them only let the tiniest particles through them, resulting in super clear water.
And then, so this is it cleaning as if it was dirty. I'm just going to simulate it. Does it feel good? Does it feel good on a hot, sticky day?
Oh, that was quite nice.
Do you want to do it again?
It was lovely. Very refreshing.
Really, it's low maintenance. You do have to do some little bit of spray in now and then, but I can go away for a month and it will look after itself.
Do your koi have teeth?
Do they have teeth?
Yeah.
Yes, all koi have teeth.
Oh, so that's their toothbrush?
Yes. That's how I clean my window.
Oh. There's just one problem with this room.
It's not a problem. It's made to my height, 7 foot. What God gave Trinidadians for the good looks, He gave English people for height.
As well as it being quite costly to initially set up your koi pond, you can also lose those fish relatively easily. You know, if a otter or a mink or a heron comes along and eats them, then that's going to be bad. But there's ways to prevent that, like, you know, fishing line around the outside, or netting, or like Chip has done, this big sort of pergola over the top, protecting the pond from predators. Another negative is that they won't respond to their name. You can give your fish a name, but it won't probably know that that's its name, and if you call it, it won't exactly come running to you. I mean, that's kind of obvious, I suppose, but just something to keep in mind. Did I say you can't cuddle them without getting wet?
Coco is the house pet, and she is a spoiled rabbit. Comes in the house, sits on a chair. If you're sleeping in the bed, she'll come straight up the stairs, jump up in the bed and sit right next to you.
It thinks that microphone is another rabbit. The rabbit was looking at our microphone. Oh, here we go. Do you want a treat? You like that, don't you? Why are you lying on the ground, Alex? No, I'm at one with the rabbit. You're only allowed to have your rabbit or your cat. What would you have?
Is my daughter going to be watching this?
I don't know. Will you let her watch it?
I don't know.
Just say the rabbit. Just say the rabbit. I know what you're on.
The rabbit. The rabbit.
Yes, I agree.
The rabbit. Yes. The rabbit.
Yes. So we'd seen koi and a rabbit, but Chip had other creatures living in his pond too.
You can see my plecos in the bottom. Can you see
Oh wow, that's huge. And they are good for algae.
Yeah.
Keeping the algae there.
Yeah.
That
was huge.
Guys, we're here to make a video about koi.
Oh, sorry.
Stop talking about plecos. No, they are quite impressive, to be honest.
That's a cutie.
Oh, here. Is that it? Or is that...
Huge.
We just netted the pleco, which eats the algae in the pond. What a weird looking creature. I'm not talking about you this time, Alex.
Whoa.
What do you have favourites?
What, between you and Carl and Alex?
Do you have any favourite fish?
Favorite fish, yes.
Get it right, mate.
Oh, sorry. Funny enough, it's probably not the most expensive fish in here, but it's my Momotaro Orgon, the one that you guys, the big girl. Because she was so tiny when I bought her, dinky. Because it was so cheap, I didn't expect much, and no one liked it when I was little. A bit like the ugly duckling, probably a bit like myself growing up. But now she's 4 years old, and you see her, she's a beast. She's far from going to win any koi shows because she's damaged herself growing up, but she's probably, I will never sell her for, well, never say never. If you've shown up with enough money, she will go, as will my children. But yeah, she's probably one of my favorite koi in this pond, just because more sentimental reasons than anything else in that way.
Seeing really beautiful fish, clear water, really nice koi ponds always inspires me, always makes me a little bit jealous. I think, I'm not sure when, like maybe next year or something, but we want to build something like this. We want to dig up the garden and build ourselves a pond like this, because visiting it, seeing this setup is so inspiring for me. Since filming this video, we've actually had a pond builder and garden designer visit our house to begin measuring up and planning our own koi pond project. This is probably going to take some time, but we'll be posting videos throughout the journey documenting the making of our dream koi pond. I think for me, the best thing about fish, and koi in particular, is that they're just so calming and relaxing. You know, lots of fish, they'll nip around their tank and they'll zoom around and they're sometimes a bit aggressive. Koi aren't like that. They're not boisterous and like fast moving. They're just so chilled, especially these big ones that Chip has got in his pond. I love them for the fact that they just calm me down. They just chill me out and they're lovely to watch. So with all of that said, in summary, I would decide and confirm koi do make good pets. Although I am just a little bit biased because I love fish and I love koi and I make videos about koi and I have pet koi and my friends have pet koi. So for a slightly less biased opinion, it'd probably be best to ask Chip's wife. What does your wife think of the koi?
Do you want to ask her?
I'm asking you.
She likes it when I sell them and I get money.